back to Bill Snyder Family Stadium. About 48 degrees, overcast, some slight rain in the forecast as well. West Virginia getting ready to take on Kansas State. The College Football Hall of Famer Bill Snyder in his 26th season, his second stint at the helm for K-State. And on the sidelines for West Virginia, Dana Holgerson. And Golick Jr., he told us he has gone an entire week without an energy drink.
We're going to wait and see if he can make it through the remainder of the game, and I'm sure the team has felt a little bit of that edge here this week. As you said, they remain eligible in the Big 12, trying to compete, and it starts today with a Red Bull free coach.
The last two meetings between these schools, both decided by a single point. West Virginia came back from a halftime deficit last year. Kansas State came back from a halftime deficit right here in this building 2 years ago. The Mountaineers have won the toss. They defer, so Kansas State will receive. It's the 8th meeting all time. The Wildcats have won 5 of the previous 7. And we have our 39th consecutive home sellout here at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. There again, the temperature, a slight wind, and the cloud cover and the rain serving as the canopy on this second weekend of November. Evan Staley to kick it off, and the dangerous DJ Reed back deep for Kansas State. He's got a kick return for a touchdown. Had a return called back a week ago. They will stay away from Reed, and smartly so. And K-State instead will bring it out to the 40-yard line. That's the game you've got to play. You want to limit that big return. And the squib kick gives K-State pretty good field position. And making his first career start, Skylar Thompson, former player of the year in the state of Missouri in high school, a redshirt freshman, and a guy that this coaching staff and this team sees as the quarterback of the future.
And we saw that start last week, overcoming the largest fourth-quarter deficit in school history already on this young man's resume. He'll go out today having had the full week to prepare and now lead this team.
He's a dual-threat quarterback. Led his team from 11 down in an overtime win against Texas Tech last week. On first down, he'll hand off to his running back, Alex Barnes. And Barnes is tackled for a loss by Kaiser White. Barnes, one of our impact players for K-State.
Yeah, you're going to watch Barnes all day, and this is a guy for a team that loves to run the quarterback as much as they do. We'll be seen carrying the ball and working as a blocker. This guy is vital to this offense, in addition to his great offensive tackle, Dalton Reisner, a guy 16, was first team all Big 12, and going to look to make an impact on the ground for them today.
On 2nd and 12, Thompson to throw. He's got Byron Pringle, who had the game-winning reception, the game-winning touchdown reception last week, one of 2 TDs. And it sets up 3rd down for Kansas State at the 45.
Pringle, a guy they can see as a big play wideout for them, the 2nd highest yards per catch average in college football this season. Big play ability that they're waiting to see maximized.
24 yards of reception for Pringle, 2nd nationally. Wildcats have not been great on 3rd down as Dalton shown motions. Thompson to the air. And he's got a 1st down. It's Pringle again near midfield. And there is a late flag at the end of the play.
Pass interference, offense number 83. The player was blocking downfield and the ball was caught beyond the line of scrimmage. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
On Dalton shown, the offensive pass interference to free up the receiver.
Yeah, you saw that, and what you saw also out of this offense is going to be something that's a feature of their game today. Seeing that almost duck up in the middle of the pocket, simulating what this Kansas State offense loves to do, run the quarterback to try and get those linebackers to bite down.
So now 3rd and long. K-State needs to get to its own 49. Barnes split wide, empty look. Against a 3-man rush. All day for Thompson. Down the middle of the field, and that is going to be caught. It's Pringle, no, incomplete at midfield. Originally, it looked like they were going to rule that a catch, and then from the sideline, it looked like the side judge raced in, said incomplete.
About as close as they come, and great job by Skylar Thompson. Just sitting back there, not getting antsy, not feeling the need to flush out. His offensive line gave him plenty of time against the 3-man rush, just waiting to see if something was going to pop loose against that zone.
So now the punt team will come on for Kansas State on 4th and long. Nick Walsh, the punter for K-State, a guitar player who writes songs, dreams of Nashville one day.
Hey, I always said I'd trade every little athletic ability I had for the comparable amount of singing talent.
Marcus Sims on the return. And the Mountaineers will start with good field position, and their quarterback is Will Greer. 2nd nationally in touchdown passes, 4th in his family in Instagram followers.
When your 8-year-old sister's sitting there steady with 1.2 million Instagram followers, you know the rest of the family's doing something right, and somehow your meager 675,000 just not getting it done. Got to be a tough Thanksgiving household.
He's put together a fine season, though, out on the field. 30 touchdown passes. Does have 10 picks, but 4 came in one game against Oklahoma State. And Greer to throw on 1st down. Quick release to the sideline. It's Gary Jennings, his 70th catch of the season. Jennings, one of 3 Mountaineer wide receivers on pace for a 1,000-yard season. This time it's David Sills, and he is bottled up immediately. No gain. K-State says the ball came out and they've got it. And it will be Wildcat football. DJ Reed, on his 21st birthday, gets an early present.
Making it count. This is where you'll see Reed, a guy who's as potent as anyone on the back end, but loves fighting around the line of scrimmage and is going to factor.
It's a catch, fumble, recovered by the defense, 1st down.
Against those run-pass options of West Virginia, you'll see the wide receivers split out way near the sideline. DJ Reed doing a great job of ripping at the football out on the edge and being a physical force, in addition to an athletic guy that we see make plays not only as a DB, but as a return man as well.
Completed catch, fumble, recovered by the defense. That plays under further review.
They will take another look at this one upstairs. Now, was the ball coming out before Sills goes down? That's the question. Now watch DJ Reed, 2 in purple.
West Virginia's lost only 1 fumble in their last 4 games, so looking there, just trying to see if that knee's down before the ball jars loose.
And again, important to note, the call on the field was a fumble, so you're looking for indisputable video evidence to overturn that call on the field. And if there is any gray area, that call will stand.
And this is important for West Virginia in a game where Kansas State is going to try and limit possessions. This is the team that Coach Snyder said loves to take the play clock down right to 3, 2, 1 and make sure that if you're used to 10, 14, 15 possessions a game, all of a sudden you're getting 10 or 11 in a game where Kansas State on the ground is going to try and control things.
That forces you to be more efficient offensively. And Bill Snyder made no secret of it. He said part of our game plan is to play keep away.
And that's what you've got to do in a potent
review,
offense.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Fumble recovered by the defense.
So this Kansas State defense with a big play early, and now the Wildcats will begin this drive in Mountaineer territory as Skylar Thompson and company gets back on the field. DJ Reed, the birthday boy, the captain, one of the leaders in this secondary, coming up with a big play early.
And let's see if they get some of that quarterback run involved. Depth an issue at the quarterback position, but one of their staple plays in this offense.
West Virginia uses that 3-3-5 defensive front. This is Alex Barnes looking for running room. Now a detour. And able to get to the 43-yard line. Give him about 4 on the play. Barnes has had 100 yards rushing in 2 of his last 3 games. We got a chance to spend some time with him yesterday. You two bonded over your love of Dragon Ball Z, and I'm not even going to go any further. I'll let you take it from there.
I tell you what, when the guy walks into the room with Goku socks, you know you're in for a diehard, and he was living up to that completely in our conversation.
Play action. Thompson taking a shot downfield, incomplete. He wanted his fullback, Winston Dimmel. It's 3rd down.
Dimmel's an interesting guy to watch looking at this offense. They put him all over the place, but one thing that their tackle, Dalton Reisner, told us the other day, a sneaky athlete, and that time trying to get him going right up the hash mark down the seam and just couldn't quite connect.
West Virginia has had to reshuffle its secondary due to some injuries as it's 3rd down, K-State, 6 to go.
You can see the pressure coming off the right side here. Let's see if West Virginia bluffs out of it.
Mountaineers show blitz. They'll bring the pressure. Thompson standing in. Incomplete for Isaiah Zuber. Covered by Elijah Battle. No flag, and it's 4th down. And that's a big early hold for West Virginia.
That is. And a great job by Battle on this one. You saw the pressure coming off the right side. So what's that tell you as a defensive back? That ball is going to have to come out early. Guarding against that inside route there. Being physical enough. Not quite getting the call.
Battle, a junior college transfer who played his JC ball at Dodge City Community College here in Kansas. This punt is fair, caught by Sims at around to the 5-yard line. Walsh went down.
There's no foul on the play. The punter was hit by his own man.
No flag on the play. The crowd does not approve. Nick Walsh punting it away. That's accidental contact. Second possession for West Virginia. The Mountaineers from their own 6. 3 plays, 3 throws. That's Marcus Sims out of bounds near the 10. Impact players for West Virginia, Golick.
Yeah, you look at West Virginia, and on offense, it begins and ends with their star quarterback in Will Greer. But look for David Sills, the former quarterback himself, leading the nation in touchdowns with 16 on the season.
On the ground and nowhere to go for Justin Crawford, who's coming off a 100-yard rushing game. It's 3rd down, and something Dana Holgorsen has been emphasizing the last couple of weeks, running the football and being tougher and more physical.
And so far, throws out to the sideline, not exactly following up with that ideology. And now with 3rd and medium to long, not exactly the place to impose your will. As Kansas State lines up their NASCAR package on the D-line on the other side.
Greer under pressure, and he is sacked. Davis Clark, his 2nd sack of the season, and 3 and out goes West Virginia.
And you're going to see Clark come around on the tackle game on the inside. 34 doing a great job of buying up both the left guard and the center. That's Tanner Wood, freeing up tons of space for Clark to come around. Getting pressure on Greer going to be a key for them all day.
Billy Kinney to punt from his end zone. Got to watch out against K-State, so good on special teams. Here's Reed. And all 3 of K-State's possessions so far will now begin between the 40s.
Got to capitalize at some point, start to make the most of what are going to be limited drives.
The annual Fort Riley Day game at Kansas State. The university showing its appreciation to military soldiers and officers from Fort Riley Army installation, located just 17 miles from campus on the Kansas River. Bill Snyder's team 5-4, needing a win to become bowl eligible. There have been a couple of close losses, double overtime to Texas, a close one to Vandy, an 11-point lead at the half blown against Oklahoma. Skylar Thompson, the quarterback, first career start, and he is wrapped up into the embrace of West Virginia and Adam Schuler for a loss of 5.
Going to see this a lot with this Kansas State offense. Run looks, even a little bit of an indication of a possible quarterback run there. But when you've got pullers on the offensive line and they're pulling up that ball to try and look for the pass, it creates a few more seams for rushers to sneak in.
On second down, play action. Thompson now will run across the 40 and subdued at the 39. 3rd and 11 for Kansas State. So again, a short field, but K-State finds itself in a 3rd and long.
The key there, Anish, is they got behind the sticks. I mean, Mike talked about that first play, and it looked like Dalton Schoen was open there for a second, but Skylar Thompson couldn't quite pull the trigger. Got sacked. Now they're behind the chains, and Kansas State has not been great on 3rd down. 3rd and 11 certainly doesn't help them.
Well, they do have an outstanding kicker in Matthew McCrane, who can hit from well beyond 50.
West Virginia brought pressure last time.
Showing blitz here. It's a 4-man rush. Thompson downfield wants Pringle. It's incomplete. Covered by Kenny Robinson, the freshman. And it's 4th down, but there is a flag back near midfield.
Personal foul, chop block, offense. Number 74, number 32. Penalties decline, 4th down.
That's Scott France, the left tackle, and Justin Silman, the running back.
We talked about this with Reisner, their tackle, and Barnes the other day. This offensive line and running backs group pride themselves on communicating well against multiple fronts, but that time the lack of communication leaves both guys going at the same player and ultimately leads to the penalty.
Walsh's punt, almost downed inside the 5, instead a touchback, and the Mountaineers have a little more breathing room on this drive. Well, if Dana Holgerson has not had his energy drink, he's got us fooled.
Really has, and hopefully this offense can provide some energy now that they'll have a bit better field position. So far, Kansas State really been working most of this game with stellar field position, coming off the squib kick on the very first play of the game, turnovers down deep in their own end zone. That time, nearly getting the ball down at the 1. West Virginia, much more room to operate. Let's see if they get to some of that ground game, establish some of that physicality, and open some things up for the wideouts.
Already the 3rd possession. Both teams have now had it 3 times. Greer's going to take a shot downfield. Incomplete for Sims. 2nd and 10. Will Greer began his career at Florida. 5-0 as a starter. Then suspended 1 year for testing positive for a performance-enhancing drug. It was an over-the-counter substance. Transferred to West Virginia, and he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the country this year. Quick release. It's picked off by Reed. Through the hands of Sims. Reed breaks the tackle. He lost the ball. They'll mark him down inside the 5 at the 1-yard line. DJ Reed has now had a hand in 2 turnovers.
And this one just going right off the hands of Marcus Sims into the waiting arms of DJ Reed. Important on the replay here, them marking the ball out at the 1. If that had skated out of the back of the end zone, flirting with the touchback.
Well, they'll say it's at the 3-yard line now where Reed went down.
The
And it appears he is down before that ball comes out.
The ball was fumbled forward and out of bounds at the 1. By rule, the ball be brought back to the spot of the fumble, 1st and goal.
So 1st and goal for Kansas State. And DJ Reed, on his 21st birthday, the first team all Big 12 selection. A forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and
The
now
previous play is
interception.
under further review.
And Kansas State 3 yards away from getting on the board first.
If you're the Kansas State defense, you can't gift wrap it to your offense any better than you have so far early in this game. If I'm Kansas State, I understand the depth at the quarterback position isn't your forte right now, but your bread and butter is the quarterback running here. Line DeMel up at the fullback, have him lead dog through this, and give your quarterback a chance to do what he did at the end of the Texas Tech game and make a play with his legs.
You mentioned the quarterback depth, as they will review on the last play. And this is a big review because they want to see, did the ball go out of bounds at the 1 yard line? If it did, then Kansas State gets it where Reed went down and lost the fumble. Or if that ball goes out of bounds in the end zone, that's West Virginia ball at the 20.
And what another crushing blow again for a defense that continues to try and do its part in this ball game. Give its offense extra possessions in a game where we said possessions are going to ultimately be the determining factor and what you do with them. This would just be an unfortunate bounce of the ball for them, really through no fault of Reed, who just continues to make plays for this defense. Came into the game tied for third in the Big 12 with interceptions.
Yeah, that is going to be tough to overturn. You're trying to figure out if that ball is ever inside the pylon.
And to your point, the ruling on the field is always important with this. And down there, short of the, I don't know if we're short on pylon cams here in Manhattan.
Yeah, I'm not sure we have an angle that lends itself to
After
that
further
call.
review, the ruling on the field stands. First and goal at the 3 yard line.
Yeah, we bring Mike Golick Jr. in to do these games. We just can't get that extra camera down there. And
All right.
DJ Reed is off to a pretty good start.
Kansas State now starting field position. Your own 40, West Virginia's 46, West Virginia's 38, and now the 2.
Now they're going to go Wildcat here with Dalvin Warmack. He had a touchdown last week. Reuter in motion. Direct snap to Warmack. Ran into a roadblock at the 5. That's a loss. Schuler again on the stop. Adam Schuler, a couple of big plays in the backfield after not playing last week in the win against Iowa State.
Well, we get an answer as to how they're going to address some of the quarterback run game option that they've lost with all of the injuries.
Alex Delton had started the last 4 games but left the last 2 after a hit to the head. Silman now the running back. Speed option. Give is to Silman. Looking for the edge. He's out of bounds. No gain. A third down. Kansas State's offense has been stalling here with good field position.
Mike, you mentioned it, that quarterback run game and that downhill run game, that's Kansas State's offense. The decision to go east and west, especially inside the 5 yard line, that's just not who these guys are.
Now, and Thompson at 6'2", 209, not a small kid. Give him a chance to get a head of steam going downhill.
3 receivers to the field. Zuber in motion. Thompson looking right. Buying time. And he'll throw it out of bounds. And it's 4th down. So now a field goal opportunity for Matthew McCrane, who with a field goal here would tie Martin Gramatica's school record for field goal made.
And never is a big moment for this kid felt so hollow after that possession. Squandering great field position yet again for Kansas State. Now after the score, West Virginia kind of with a chance to reset the field position battle and get themselves back into this flow.
The field goal is good, and with that, McCrane has tied Gramatica's school record for made field goals. He's been one of the best kickers in school history. Tacks on his 18th field goal of the season and 54th of his career. Martell Petaway runs this out across the 20. Allstate is proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship money. 3-0 Kansas State on a short field goal by McCrane. And boy, if you're Dana Holgorsen in West Virginia, you've had a couple of turnovers. Your defense has had to defend a short field, and it's still only 3-0. We welcome those viewers who just saw Oklahoma State knock off Iowa State. 49-42, Cowboys in a shootout. It's 3rd and short for West Virginia. Mountaineers have already committed 2 turnovers in this first quarter. Kansas State really has not been able to take advantage of good field position. They do have a field goal. It's a pivotal game for both these teams in the Big 12, both still alive in the race to get to the conference championship. The slant incomplete for Karan White, and it's 4th down, and West Virginia offensively just 12 yards on 10 plays.
You finally saw Elijah Wellman, number 28, the fullback, a rarity in this Big 12 conference, but we've got 2 of them here today, making his first appearance, establishing the run those first couple of plays, but then that run-pass option creeps in. You play the numbers game, make the right decision by the books, but unfortunately has to punt.
Billy Kinney kicks it away. Here is DJ Reed. So slippery, so dangerous. He's got an interception and a forced fumble in this game, and Reed on his 21st birthday across midfield. He lost the ball. Who's got it? Kansas State able to recover.
The ruling on the field was a fumble.
Kendall Adams able to salvage the K-State will start in West Virginia territory for the 4th time in this first quarter. Only 3 points on the board. Alex Barnes searching for room and backs his way inside the 45, a gain of 4.
0 first downs for Kansas State's offense through the early portion of this game, where 4 of 5 drives, as you mentioned, it started in West Virginia territory. At some point, you've just got to run your offense.
You brought it up earlier with the lack of depth at the quarterback position. K-State appears to be more cautious with Skylar Thompson in the QB run game. Silman, a block from Winston Dimmel, his fullback, and a gain of 5, and we may have our first down of the game.
Follow him to freedom, Winston Dimmel. You'll see him all over this backfield, various positions, and it really tells you a lot about this offense. 3rd and 1, we spoke too soon.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, Charlie Steiner.
Going under center, we can watch out for that option look again. Give the quarterback a chance to use his legs.
And a delay of game on Kansas State.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And that's one of the trappings when you've got a young quarterback, just an information overload. You see him giving some hand signals out, trying to do a little bit too much at the line of scrimmage. When you've got a chance, and in all honesty, you're probably in 4-down territory with as close as you are, and as well as you pride yourself on the ground game. Now with a 3rd and medium, you remove so much of the playbook that you had trimmed down for your young quarterback.
K-State 21 penalty yards, 16 total yards. On 3rd down, Thompson against the pressure. has Dalton Schoen for a first down inside the 35. Schoen coming off a 100-yard game in the win against Texas Tech.
Guys, this is one of the things I'm most impressed with Skylar Thompson's ability to throw with anticipation. That time, Dalton Schoen makes a move on the defender, and the pass is right on time and in a perfect spot for him to do something with it.
Thompson rolling to his right. Under pressure, throws it up in the air. And toward the Kansas State sideline. Pressured by Tonkery. Here's Chris Cotter. You look at what Auburn has with Georgia and Alabama. If they win those two games, they're in the SEC championship. Would get Georgia again. And that could be a case for a two-loss team in the college football playoff.
The first couple of years, we've always seen someone from outside the top 10.
Thompson beating the play clock. Has a lot of time, nobody open, he'll run. There is that dual threat ability. It's third down and about 5 to go for Kansas State.
Good job of hanging in there again. Three-man rush, surveying the field, waiting for something to come open, and now give your team a chance on third down. Make some play with your legs. That's what all of these Kansas State quarterbacks have done exceptionally well throughout the course of the year.
Barnes in the backfield. Play clock again winding down. They just beat it again. Thompson, quarterback run game, and he awkwardly slips at the 25. So fourth down and likely a kicking situation with the reliable McCrane, who with this field goal would be in sole possession of the all-time lead at Kansas State in field goals made.
Saw him down on the field before, and really good from even the low 50s. This is a guy earned every bit of this record with his performance. And another unfortunate stall on that drive. Alex Barnes going all out on the block. A great cut there. Quarterback just can't keep his footing. And
now a timeout by Bill Snyder.
Kansas
State gets the 3 points here. Given the starting field position, you can't feel good about being up 3-0 or 6-0 here.
No, you can't at this point. One West Virginia score, and we know how quickly this offense can score. Changes the entire feel of this game.
Skylar Thompson had his moments the last 2 weeks, subbing in for an injured Alex Delton. But he's had some freshman mistakes, as you pointed out.
He has. It's a little different. I mean, won the Red Raider Award for their scout team player last year. Did a stellar job in that setting. But there's a difference when you're asked to manage all of these in-game situations. And as a guy who was third on the depth chart for most of the year, you're only seeing so many of those in practice, only seeing so many of those in training camp, and now getting exposed to a lot of them in real time.
Saw the high school accolade, part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Has formed a bond with a young man by the name of Mackay. 43-yarder from McCrane. This one is up, plenty of leg, and it splits the uprights. A couple of field goals by Matthew McCrane. It's 6-0 Kansas State, but there have been more opportunities for the Wildcats. 2:45 left in the first. Taco Bell is a proud partner of the college football playoff. Be on the lookout for Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all season long. And it's about to get a little colder. A few of those guys might be looking for shirts and cover.
Wearing a different kind of jacket today, I'd imagine.
Alex Barnes getting taped. Chris Cotter on standby in the studio. He's got an update after the kick. Neither team has been able to move the ball much. K-State a couple of field goals thanks to excellent starting field position. Marcus Sims has some room. Oh, he was one more broken tackle away from a potential big return as we check in with Chris.
Second quarter.
Boy, Iowa playing spoiler in the Big Ten. Wisconsin, the lone unbeaten left in that conference. Corner blitz. Greer downfield for White. He's open. He beats his man. He's going to take this to El Dorado. 75 yards.
Saw the corner blitz coming, and what happens when you pick it up clean? A great job by the running back. That means you're one-on-one in the backside, and Karan White, not the guy you want to be singled up with. We talked about one big play changing the flow of this game, and there it is. West Virginia set to take the lead on the kick.
Evan Staley, the place kicker. Mike Molina missing his third straight game. And Staley now a perfect 7 of 7 on PATs. Karan White, good bloodlines. His older brother Kevin, an All-American wide receiver and a first-round pick at West Virginia.
One of 7 siblings, his brother Kaiser on the team as well. And here you see the corner blitz coming from his side. The safety coming over, getting edge there, and a great ball by Will Greer, putting it right on the money with room to go after. A difficult prospect. You're the safety coming over, trying to go east and west in front of a guy who's going full bore towards the other end zone. And
Greer recognized it right away. As soon as Shelley came in on the corner blitz, he knew it was White against the safety, and if White catches it, he's gone.
And that's what these coaches talk about with Will Greer, a guy with great pocket presence, a great understanding of the game, the coach's son mentality, and that time, touchdown Jesus, getting them on the board.
31st touchdown pass of the season for Will Greer.
Here's number 30, Evan Staley.
West Virginia still doesn't have a first down in this game, and despite all the great starting field position by Kansas State, the Mountaineers are with a 7-6 lead.
And that's the danger of squandering great field position, squandering turnovers by your defense, and now finding yourself down.
Again, West Virginia will keep it away from DJ Reed. Taylor with the catch on the short kick. You alluded to Karan White being one of 7 siblings. Well, these are the 3 that have come through Morgantown. Kaiser has a chance to play on Sundays, as does Karan. Kaiser is looked at as a potential first, second, third round pick. Kevin was an All-American, and all 3 of them came to West Virginia by way of Lackawanna College.
Man, talk about the junior college that you don't want to see. This family, absolutely chock full of talent. Kevin, unfortunately, just haven't had a chance to stay healthy at the NFL level, but we know what kind of playmaker he was in college, and his brother Karan clearly showing that bloodline is strong to quite strong.
White had a big game last week against Iowa State. Set a career high in receiving yards. Skylar Thompson on the move. Now in an ambush and unable to get away. It's another sack by this West Virginia defense, a loss of 4. Dylan Tonkery, the one they call Tonk, the redshirt freshman out of Bridgeport, West Virginia.
Getting pressure that time. Again, another play-action pass with a puller built into it. So what's that mean? You're going to have a little bit of a harder time holding on and sustaining those blocks for a deep shot when you've got guys moving around that much near the line of scrimmage.
Thompson will run. He gets close to the original line of scrimmage. I thought Dana Holgorsen said something interesting to us when we asked him about how does West Virginia alter its preparation given the uncertainty around K-State's quarterback position. He says, we don't care who they play at quarterback. We're going to do what we do, and they haven't really adjusted their philosophy, and they haven't really had to.
No, and they don't really adjust personnel either. They're going to keep that 3-3 stack defense out there, move guys around near the line of scrimmage, and now in 3rd and long, get to dust off the blitz package.
Silman goes in motion, empty look. It's a 3-man rush. Thompson down the middle of the field. And way off the mark, intended for Schoen. 3 and out goes Kansas State.
Really good job by the West Virginia defense mixing up calls on third down. We've seen them bring pressure. We've seen them play drop 8. And what's the result? You get the young quarterback just uncomfortable enough to where even with room on the outside, even with a guy open down the field, he's slightly inaccurate because he can't really get a bearing and a sense of what the defense is doing.
Walsh with a nice punt. Here's Sims. And dives to the 28. Jesse Ertz began the season at quarterback for Kansas State. He was coming off a season in which he ran for 1,000 yards, threw for more than 1,500. He got hurt against Texas on the 7th of October. Alex Delton then started the next 4 games, but did not finish the last 2 due to head injuries. A couple of weeks ago, he was in the concussion protocol. And Skylar Thompson finished the game the last 2 weeks, led his team back from 11 down in the 4th quarter against Texas Tech to an overtime win. And Thompson made his first career start today. But Will Greer's long touchdown pass the difference, as West Virginia has a 1-point lead late in the 1st quarter. Greer over the middle has an open receiver, and that is Greg Jennings, who leads the team in receptions and receiving yards. Gary Jennings, excuse me.
There's that first down we've been looking for all game.
There it is. Greer pumps. Under pressure, gets away from Reggie Walker and heaves it out of bounds. They marveled at Will Greer's pocket presence and poise.
Pocket presence, poise, and also strength. We've seen him shrug off tacklers, make great plays behind the line of scrimmage multiple times this year. Should be dead to rights here in the backfield, able to shrug off Reggie Walker, the D lineman, and just get the ball away. Keep yourself from losing yards, which can be sometimes just as valuable on a play like that.
3 receivers bunched to the boundary. Downfield for Sills. Makes the catch, out of bounds, and a red zone opportunity for Kansas, or for West Virginia. And that's another instance of Greer identifying a receiver matched up on a safety and going for the big play.
And Sills, again, the former quarterback, a guy who's been such a diligent student at the wide receiver position. Coach is saying that this guy runs every route in practice and then's immediately bombarding his wide receiver coach with questions about how he can get better.
That takes us to the end of quarter number 1. Sills, a former quarterback who had a scholarship offer from Lane Kiffin and USC at the age of 13. He's got the Mountaineers in the red zone. Riley, just 17 miles away from the Kansas State campus. We say thank you to all the veterans who've served. It's a red zone opportunity here for West Virginia. And they go to the biggest red zone target in the country, David Sills. That is his 17th receiving touchdown, tops in the nation. You have to know where 13 is inside the 20.
First, now with 17, yes, you heard it, 17. This guy has 6 games with multiple touchdown passes, touchdown receptions this season. 3 games with 3 touchdown receptions each, and just deadly in this portion of the field for this Mountaineers offense.
A 4-play, 72-yard drive. Sills had the long reception to get the Mountaineers into scoring range. And then on the first play of the 2nd quarter, he pays it off.
We mentioned all of that diligence in practice pays off in the red zone where that field gets a little bit compressed. We know West Virginia can go and beat you deep, but this time on DJ Reed, just getting inside leverage there, making the sure-handed catch in that gap as he is one-on-one outside with one of the corners on this team. The first couple of big plays we had seen made against the safeties on this team. We know this pass defense, 125th in the country.
David Sills, at the age of 13, committed to play quarterback for Lane Kiffin at USC. Ended up coming to West Virginia as a quarterback, but Dana Holgorsen told us he saw him as an athlete. They moved him to wide receiver as a freshman. And then after Sills' freshman year, he came to Holgorsen. He said, I still want to play quarterback. I want to pursue my dreams. I want to give it a shot. So he went the junior college route after a season at El Camino. Nobody else in the FBS wanted to take him as a quarterback. But he and Dana Holgorsen talked, and Holgorsen told him, you've got a chance to play in the NFL as a wide receiver. I've got a spot for you as a wide receiver. Sills came back, and this is a marriage that's working for both parties.
Ton of respect from this coaching staff for Sills and his decision to pursue his dream.
Again, a squib kick to keep it away. Maybe not this time, as Valentine lateraled it back to Reed, who takes it to the 37, as we say hello again to Chris.
Florida State.
This is Dalvin Warmack for Kansas State. He's got running room into West Virginia territory, down to the 41, a gain of 22.
You want to see where the ball's going in this offense? Just follow Winston Demel. We've seen it on the majority of the plays they've had success on. Winding in the running back, just doing a great job of following that lead blocker. Trying to stick with the ground game, lining up in the same formation. Let's see if they go back to the well.
Winston Dimmel, the son of offensive coordinator Dana Dimmel. Warmack again takes it inside the 40. Warmack came out of witness protection last week, had 7 rush attempts after having just 4 in the previous 6 games.
Seen him line up at some Wildcat quarterback already in this game as well. Spelling Alex Barnes, go over on the side and tug on those Dragon Ball Z socks a little bit.
We still have to get the full story there. This is Dominique Heath. Little flanker screen. And he's finally brought down by Kaiser White at the 23. First down, K-State. Roddy, they're going a little faster.
Yeah, they're getting a little tempo going on. This is a Kansas State offense that likes to drain the play clock down to around 2 or 3 seconds before they snap the ball. But you see them getting a little bit of tempo in response to West Virginia putting some points on the board in the last couple drives.
This is Warmack. Cuts it back to the outside. Warmack angling for the end zone. And he's going to be out of bounds just shy at the 2-yard line. First and goal, Kansas State.
And a lot of these big plays in the run game become big plays because of wide receivers working downfield. A couple of plays ago, it was Dalton Schoen. That by Isaiah Zuber downfield, holding a block on the defensive back to help him get those extra yards. Wide receivers make big runs happen.
Now they'll mark Kansas State inside the 1. 2 tight ends, Warmack the deep back, Dimmel the fullback. Reuter in motion. Thompson to Dimmel. They feed the fullback, and he's got 6.
How do you help out your young quarterback? Why don't you lean on your 2-time All Big 12 selection at fullback? 36 straight start and finding pay dirt there for an offense that desperately needed to capitalize on being down by the goal line. We saw them start a drive at the 3 and fail to convert, this time making no bones about it.
A 63-yard drive. The PAT by McCrane is good. K-State up the tempo, marching downfield. And it's Dimmel punching it in from short yardage. Is still used for lacrosse, soccer, rugby, and marching band practice. Dimmel's touchdown has made this a 1-point game. The last 2 meetings between these schools have been decided by 1 point. A short kick. There's Petaway. And the sophomore from Detroit to the 30. Later tonight on ESPN, another big game with college football playoff implications. Number 2 Alabama taking on number 16 Mississippi State in Starkville at 7. Golic, Alabama's best win to date, probably LSU. The Florida State win has lost value. Do they have margin for error moving down the stretch?
I don't think so, no. I think at some point that strength of schedule is going to be held against them, despite what's been a reputation that's been more than earned.
Greer on first down. His ball is tipped, and it lands harmlessly to the ground. A trade to Sean, a high school powerlifting champion, 99 in purple, got his hand on it.
Last year was the first freshman to start at defensive tackle at Kansas State, almost 11 years, starting next to the grizzled veteran Will Geary.
Gary's made 40 starts for Kansas State, number 60. A four-man rush on second down. It's Crawford. Change of direction. Justin Crawford with a big run. Give him 17 and give the Mountaineers a first down. Crawford a little slow to get up. Now they talked to us about managing his workload. He opened the season with 5 straight 100-yard games. Didn't really do much the next 3 games. Bounced back last week, but it was interesting how West Virginia managed his carries last week. He did most of his work in the first 3 quarters. They had Kennedy McCoy come in and really play the role of closer in that 4th quarter.
Yeah, we've seen him do some of his best work there, but they said they really want to manage this guy's touches because they want their best on the field down the stretch when it counts. And Crawford, a guy who, listen, is no stranger to being a bell cow, has a 300-plus yard game on his resume last year against Oklahoma.
Yeah, 3rd highest rushing total in school history, and he, along with Greer, both married, both have children. Greer's got a daughter who just turned 1 yesterday. Crawford and his wife Chakia have 2 children. And the West Virginia coaching staff was telling us that when Crawford came to Morgantown from junior college, before the first training camp, he was working at a Taco Bell, and they told him, listen, you don't have to work at Taco Bell. Come to West Virginia, focus on football. You've got a big payday ahead in the NFL. Greer under pressure, gets away from Gary. He's got room to run. Gets past tanking, slides down for a first down, but there is a penalty marker back at the 41.
Guys, regardless of this penalty, the fact that Kansas State has had free shots on Will Greer and has not been able to bring him down is troublesome down the stretch. We talked about
Holding. Offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replayed first down.
That's their best offensive lineman, Kyle Bosch, who began his career at Michigan.
The Michigan transfer going up against 2-time All-Big 12. On the other side. Will Geary on the other side giving problems to the left guard there. I think that's where this penalty actually occurred, over on the left side. Geary, a guy who Bill Snyder said could walk under a table in the office if you let him. Not an overly tall or imposing defensive lineman, but extremely productive, great hand use, and that time forcing the penalty.
Greer down the seam, intercepted. Denzel Goolsby picks it off. There are flags on the return. Goolsby takes it to the 25 of West Virginia. A tip ball, 2nd interception by Kansas State.
That flag came after the interception. Looks like they're going to get Duke Shelley going low on the wide receiver, trying to spring a block. 2nd interception we've seen off a tip ball so far this game. Bad luck again for the Mountaineer offense.
Now 3 turnovers already for West Virginia. A dangerous recipe on the road.
During the return, illegal low block on the return team, number 8. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Kansas State retains the ball, 1st and 10.
In any other setting, would laud him for the cut block. As a former offensive lineman, that is near and dear to my heart. But in that setting, change of possession, not the route to go. And now the Kansas State offense starts a bit backed up, but their defense giving them another extra possession in a game now with a 1-point lead for West Virginia starts to matter a little more.
That ball off the hands of Karan White. And there you can see Shelley right there. That's the block, and instead of starting deep in West Virginia territory. K-State backed up at its own 40.
See if they take a shot on first down.
Sudden change. It's a screen to Zuber. Picks up 4. Zuber out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. But Kansas State was always his dream school when he used to play video games as a kid. And he would choose Kansas State despite growing up in the shadow of a couple of pretty big-time programs. Warmack. And it sets up a 3rd and 2.
The defense really selling out on these handoffs, knowing the quarterback hasn't been all too involved yet. At some point, there's going to be an easy pull with wide open space for Skylar Thompson. We'll wait and see when he finally takes advantage of that backside, really crashing down hard.
You watched a lot of tape, Mike, on the offensive line for Kansas State. What they do is not what most teams do.
No, this is a group that prides itself on its intellect, changing their blocking scheme based on the front they've seen against this 3-3 stack on defense. A lot for them to see, manage, and execute against.
Thompson, QB keeper, broke the initial tackle, but no gain. And it's 4th down, a couple of yards shy of midfield. And Bill Snyder will send his punt unit on.
A tackle by David Long, a guy spent the first 5 games coming back from off-season knee surgery. 7 tackles for loss against Oklahoma State. A school record. Flashing that great playmaking ability on that play.
Walsh's kick over the head of Sills and into the end zone for a touchback. Our marquee game tonight is Notre Dame and Miami. Mike Golick Jr. went to Notre Dame. Jonathan Vilma in the studio went to Miami. They're about to face off when we come back.
10 teams playing on tonight.
Vilma, you used the word I wanted right there, back. A lot of people talking about this Miami program as finally being back, but I'm interested, what's the definition of that for you, an alum who was around the last time this team was truly successful on the big stage?
Well, being back means you have to win something of significance. So right now, Miami's not back. They're almost back, but they haven't won anything of significance. They've won 8 games. They're not ACC champions. They're not in the playoffs. They haven't won a national title. So right now, until they can have some tangible things on their resume that they can put and chalk down and check that off the checklist, then they'll be back. For right now, if we beat Notre Dame, which I believe we will, then we'll be in the right step of being back.
Well, you know what they say. We saw the Ric Flair documentary, to be the best, you got to beat the best. So you have a tall order of that
would
tonight.
imply that you guys
got
are
some
the
interesting. Well, hey, listen, my words, I'm going to stick with them. But I want to talk about the jewelry you've got on right now. Notre Dame has done this up front with their offensive line, none a ton of frills. Miami in that turnover chain starring on defense. But is that thing actually cool, man? Would you guys have rocked that back in 01?
Oh, not only would we have rocked it, we would have gotten about double the turnovers that we got in our 2001 season when we won the championship just to wear this chain. See, these guys, they're not rocking it right. I would have taken the chain out the night of, after we won a game. I would have been all over the town with the chain, making sure everybody knew that I had the turnover chain.
No surprise there. Notre Dame side, we've been watching Josh Adams all year, a guy who's in the Heisman Trophy conversation, has been a stellar running back for that Irish ground game. I'm interested on Miami side. Who's a player that's jumped out to you in this season?
So far, it's been Travis Homer, another running back that we're talking running backs. He's actually been a very big surprise, a pleasant surprise when Mark Walton went down. Miami fans didn't know what was going to happen with the running game, and Travis Homer has stepped in and has done very well. He's played admirably.
John, I got to age you a little bit. You're a little bit older than I am, so maybe you have a bit of a better understanding of the history. I'm interested, do you have a favorite moment in the history of this rivalry?
Wow, I'd say my favorite moment, it's an iconic moment in this Catholics versus convicts rivalry when all the UM players came off the plane in Army fatigue. They were ready to go. I mean, that just signified exactly what everyone hated about Miami back in the day. And I was a little kid and I was watching and saying, man, I don't know what it is about them, but I want to be like them. And they went, they played, performed. I mean, they were great games. So don't get me wrong. Those games were always back and forth, two top-tier teams. So that's what made it really exciting, that all of the hype that led up to the games and then the game itself never disappointed.
Jonathan, here's the moment of truth now. We fell on opposite sides of this great rivalry. I got my prediction. I've been saying all week Irish by 2 touchdowns. I'm going 31-17 tonight. What do you got for a score for us?
Wow, that's just so disrespectful,
Oh, yeah.
Mike. Okay, well, I'm going to go with Miami winning. I actually respect you guys. I think you have a very good running game. I think your defense is improved. I don't think we're going to turn the ball over, so Miami's going to win by 3 points. Your prediction, I think that was a lot of homerism in there in your prediction. Just saying.
Only a little bit, Jonathan, but we appreciate the time, man. In all seriousness, best of luck going into tonight. I'll try not to shout too much at my TV or at you from behind my TV. Good luck the rest of the day, man.
Thanks, Molly. Good to talk to you, Mike. Good to talk with you.
Kansas State. Kendall Adams broke it up. Golick and Vilma getting their jabs in. Roddy, you and I are going to be in the car with Golick as he watches tonight. So do we have any noise-canceling devices? Stand by.
I know I do. I'm not sure about you, but I know I have some noise-canceling headphones where if it starts to go sideways for the Domers, I'm popping those things on and acting like everything happened. My team won today, so we're good.
Mountaineers, meanwhile, going downhill in Kansas State territory. Second down. Will Greer over the middle. That's broken up 2 plays in a row. Kendall Adams with a pass defensed, and it's 3rd and 10.
I know we talked about this earlier in the game. When you bring a blitz on that defensive end, you put stress on that man-to-man coverage.
Did you even see that play?
We saw the safeties get beat. I got my eyes on later. I can be a professional about this. And Kendall Adams out there handling his business like a pro. Getting ready for 3rd and long.
That was good. That was seamless.
We are going to win by 2 touchdowns tonight.
It's touchdown Jesus at quarterback for West Virginia. 3rd and 10. Greer with time, pumps. Eluding the pursuit. Greer throws it downfield for White. And Jennings makes the catch out of nowhere. Oh, that looked to be in the direction of Karan White, and then Jennings made his way toward the sideline, and a huge 3rd down conversion.
Kansas State putting that 4-man rush to work, but this is all Will Greer. You just can't ask the back end of your defense to hold up this long, and eventually, not 1 but 2 receivers coming loose and taking it right out of the other's hands.
Let's see if they go to Sills, 1st and goal. End zone, White, incomplete, covered by Shelley.
Karan White's got to be sitting there thinking he's got a slam dunk, and then out of nowhere, by God, that's Gary Jennings music.
Greer looking for Sills, laying out, touchdown, West Virginia. The side judge rules it a touchdown. They'll likely look at this.
Going to see it again right here. Get the switch route at the top, going towards that pylon. Let's see if he can get just 1 foot down. What an unbelievable toe tap. They'll take a look and see if he maintains possession when this foot hits. But as we take a look at this again,
The ruling on the field is that the receiver got a foot down with possession. Touchdown.
didn't appear like it at first, but seeing that replay, what incredible concentration, maintaining the catch, getting that right foot to tap in. And this is almost surely going to stand.
Guys, we give referees a hard time when they miss calls. That was an incredible call by the referee on the field, because from the naked eye, I'm down in this end zone and I was close to the play. It did not look like he got a foot in.
Previous plays under further review.
The ruling on the field was a catch and a West Virginia touchdown. And indisputable video evidence is needed to overturn the call. And if it stands, that is the FBS leading 18th touchdown reception for David Sills, and this would be his 7th game with at least 2 TDs.
And doing his damage again down in the red zone. This is where that stellar route running comes into play. This is where all that attention to detail really benefits you. And you mentioned it right going into that series, a lot of space. This offense for West Virginia loves to put their receivers out really wide towards the sidelines, giving them a lot of space to work with. And that time we get another switch route out of this West Virginia offense, giving him just enough room.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Good call by the officials, as Roddy pointed out, and a superb catch by Sills. 2 incredible catches on this drive, one by Jennings, one by Sills. And West Virginia goes 80 yards in 10 plays, now looking for the point after to make this an 8-point game.
Will Grier with multiple touchdown passes in every game this season.
Yeah, he's been incredible. 33 touchdown passes, now leading the nation. PAT by Staley is good. David Sills, you get in the red zone, you look for number 13. If you're Will Grier, and 18 times that connection has worked for a touchdown. Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. David Sills, a couple of first-half touchdown receptions. Will Grier, 220 yards through the air, 3 TD passes. He has 2 picks, but he's taken advantage of a K-State secondary that has struggled defending the pass this year. This one will go into the end zone. K-State takes it out at the 25.
The reputation is booing them, and it absolutely is, and it's well earned.
Been in the championship game 2 years in a row. That Florida State win at the start of the season doesn't look so good now, given what's happened to the Noles. First down, Skylar Thompson. He's being chased. White tracks him down. Great pursuit by Kaiser White. And Mike, you see the difference between a redshirt freshman quarterback still learning how to go through his progressions and working on his pocket presence, and then what we've seen from Will Grier.
And you see it right here. 83, David Schoen wide open down the middle of the field right here, clearing that linebacker. Got plenty of space underneath the safety, but Thompson doesn't see it. Ends up going out of bounds and getting this team once again in long yardage situations on second down.
Second down, 10 to go. Play clock at 2 when that ball was snapped. Nearly intercepted. David Long dove for that one. Do you sense happy feet right now from Thompson?
Just a little bit, and he's had plenty of space. We talked about the pride of this unit up front. It's not really being tested. West Virginia sending 3-man rushes right now, dropping back off into coverage and daring this freshman quarterback to throw into some windows that he is clearly not comfortable with right now.
Mike, you mentioned it. The 8 guys dropping, I think that's what's throwing off Skylar Thompson, because you said it, those windows are constricted, and when you're expecting a guy to come wide open and you see color around him, you're a little more hesitant when throwing the ball.
Justin Silman now split wide, matched up on a linebacker. Thompson under pressure, has to get rid of it. He does. Nobody in the area. It's 4th down. And that is the 6th 3-and-out by Kansas State.
Kansas State trying to help their young quarterback too. That time the motion out of the backfield, linebacker travel showing you it's man coverage, which means what on 3rd down you're probably getting a blitz, and that time not able to avoid the rush that comes late, ends up throwing a ball short. Continuing to mix up the bag on 3rd down is West Virginia, and continuing to work.
Walsh to punt it away. Sills and Sims deep. A chance for Sims. And pinballs his way out to the 37 after a 44-yard punt. In the game at tailback for West Virginia, Mountaineers with an 8-point lead. Crawford. Breaking tackles to the 42 for a gain of 6. All the talk about running the football, about toughness. Now, West Virginia has had its most success through the air today. Back to the air. Here's White. He's out of bounds. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
You're seeing the same little fold scheme on the inside run, and this time Greer just decides to pull it, making this defense unsure, trying to figure out where you're going to sell out, and that leads to the big chunk plays we've seen.
Quick release. Jennings has the first down. Thrown to the ground by Adams. And West Virginia moves the chains. Will Greer always seems to know what the right play is. Even the 2 interceptions, both were on a tip ball.
And he can get a lot of these reads pre-snap as now they start to pick up the pace.
Here's the blitz. It's picked up. Greer down the seam. Too far for White, 2nd and 10.
Guys, this is a Kansas State defense that plays a lot of man-to-man coverage. They've been hit on it a couple of times. Both times, the West Virginia receivers have gotten manned up on a Kansas State safety, and they've been able to hit their big plays. Kansas State's answer is to go with more zone coverage, and what that does is remove guys from the run game. That's why you've started to see West Virginia have a little more success on the ground.
Greer running in circles. He'll set. He'll heave one. Deep downfield. Incomplete for Jennings. Oh, Jennings had his man beat.
Another instance, Will Greer just buying time on his own. Nothing crazy here. A 4-man rush. Gets a couple of pass rushers loose inside. Able to create enough space. And it seems like the majority of these plays can be attributed to Will Greer once the ball gets deep down the field.
We've seen it all season, his ability to extend plays. K-State showing pressure on 3rd down. Greer, pump fakes. Circling to the near side. Again, a shot downfield, this time for White. And too far. Now, we saw 3rd and long on the previous drive where he hit Jennings on a big play.
And 2 such instances of that right here. A lot of Aaron Rodgers in his game on the back end. We've seen this spin out of pressure from Aaron Rodgers time and time again on the NFL level, only to find green grass and an open side of the field, just narrowly missing on connecting on these deep balls.
Before your time, but it's a Tecmo Bowl move that we're seeing from Will Greer.
Mike Golick Sr., Techno Bowl All-Star. Glitch in the game gives him his best moments. Don't let him fool you.
A fair catch is made by Reed inside the 10. West Virginia looking to go to 7-3. They've got an 8-point lead with less than 5 minutes to play in the first half.
In the Big Ten East. Coming up, guys, we'll see you in a bit.
Ohio State with a beatdown of Michigan State earlier today. Kansas State from its own 7 down 8. Dominique Heath. Shoved out of bounds by Kenny Robinson.
Nish, there's been such a big difference in this Kansas State offense when they've had success on 1st downs. We've seen them get into situations with Skylar Thompson where it's 2nd and 3rd and long, and they just have not been able to do it. But a positive gain here on 1st down sets them up for success.
And Roddy, just trying to get an easy completion for your quarterback that struggled moving the ball downfield. A lot of pro routes in this playbook, but require timing from the quarterback and a confidence he hasn't shown yet.
Dalvin Warmack has had a nice first half. Able to swim through traffic to move the chains. Warmack up over 50 yards rushing on just 6 carries.
Warmack really having a lot of success for them. Barnes, the story coming into the game, but their one complete drive as an offense was with Warmack in that backfield.
They had a nice touchdown run last week against Texas Tech. Only 22 attempts all season entering the game, but 6 today. Play clock again winding down. 5-man pressure, it's Warmack. Finds a hole. Warmack into space. Using the stiff arm and takes it down to the 41 of West Virginia. A gain of 42.
Great job by the freshman quarterback working at the line of scrimmage, seeing something there. Saw the fullback adjust his position a little bit. Makes for a big crease in that run game and another big run from Dalvin Warmack.
93 yards rushing.
Official timeout for an injury.
Man down for West Virginia is Al-Rashid Benton, senior captain, who's also the leader not just of this defense but of this football team. The crowd booing, thinking it's a stall tactic. Game track brought to you by Cabela's. Will Greer, a couple of interceptions. The 3 turnovers for West Virginia in the first half have not really been a problem. K-State has had trouble capitalizing. Wildcats struggled in the first quarter when they had a short field. David Sills, a couple of TD receptions, 18 now on the season to lead the country, and some growing pains for Skylar Thompson, just 5 of 14 passing in the first career start for the redshirt freshman. Warmack breaks the tackle, bouncing off defenders, and picks up 7.
And we're seeing every time this backfield set gets lined up, the running back with Dimmel right in front of him at that fullback spot, lined up on the same side, it's been a run going the opposite way. And at some point, West Virginia's defense is going to be able to key in on that. Let's see what the tendency breaker is for Kansas State on offense. Is it Thompson out the backside? Is it play action pass? There's got to be some wrinkle to keep them honest.
Thompson down the middle for Zuber, and he hauls it in inside the 10. First and goal.
And you've seen him with confidence now twice on this drive, going up to the line of scrimmage and making a change in the call. That time checking to a pass, striking downfield. Earlier in the drive we saw him with the run check. Maybe coming into his own a little bit now and settling down, which is dangerous for this West Virginia defense. As we see that backfield set that's usually indicated a run here going to the right.
Thompson, this is quarterback power. Thompson dives ahead to the 2. Second and goal.
This time giving us the same backfield set, but mixing up the personnel, lining up their tight end, Dayton Valentine, and Winston Dimmel in the backfield at the running back spot, giving you that early indication that it is student body right, trying to give their quarterback finally a chance down in the red zone to make a play for this team on the ground as they get under center again.
Dimmel, the fullback, he's got a short touchdown run today. Dimmel gets it again. Hammer heading into the end zone for his second rushing touchdown of the game.
Did all the dirty work to get you down there. Why not let him get home? And get home is exactly what Kansas State does. Since the start of the 2014 season, they've converted 92% of their red zone possessions into points. Always say, Anish, that the extra guy on defense is the running back's man. You've got to make him miss. An easy way to make him miss is to just run straight through his chest. The Marshawn Lynch School of Football.
Beast mode. Dimmel, 4 rushing TDs on the season. McCrane's extra point is good. It's a 1-point game, and that's been a theme in this series the last couple of years.
No stranger to tight finishes, and for these teams, big plays on both sides. Will Greer and his arm making plays on one side. It's been Dalvin Warmack in this rushing attack on Kansas State that's accounted for the chunk plays driving this offense.
Our next top-ranked boxing event comes to 2 meetings in this series decided by a point. In both instances, the team that trailed at halftime came back to win. Kansas State bowl eligible with a win today. West Virginia became bowl eligible last week. But both teams still mathematically alive to play in the Big 12 championship. Sims to the 21. Oklahoma State beat Iowa State earlier today, and if you're a West Virginia fan, you were rooting for Iowa State because you have that head-to-head tiebreaker, and if Oklahoma State would have lost, that's now 3 conference losses. You don't really have to worry about them if you win out as the Mountaineers.
Exactly. You came into today just wanting to handle your own business. None of these scenarios mattered if West Virginia didn't win out on the rest of the season. So starting down here today, but certainly disheartening as I'm sure those scores travel around the sideline.
Oklahoma and TCU. That's later today. An elimination game for the playoff, perhaps. Jennings out of bounds. Less than 90 seconds to go in this first half. West Virginia with 2 timeouts, and that's plenty of time for this offense.
It's where the veteran quarterback really comes into play. 2-minute offense now as they get up and start moving.
This is on the ground. It's Crawford getting to the outside and wisely gets out of bounds. A smart run by Crawford to the 45. Clock stopped with 1:14.
I'm sure a lot of sleepless nights for the new fathers in that backfield, but certainly no fog on that run. You're right, making the veteran play and stopping the clock to keep this drive alive.
Have you had your fill of dad jokes for the weekend?
2 new dads in the booth right here. I have been inundated. Both of you getting on the scoreboard early and often.
Greer completes that. It's White, a gain of 9. Clock will run. In Kansas State territory. Crawford, first down and more. Ball is out. Who's got it? Kansas State signaling they have it. And they do. The 4th turnover of this first half for West Virginia.
And for a team that leads by 1 right now, boy, they've given Kansas State every possible opportunity. And as this game continues to stay close and may come down to the stretch yet again in this rivalry, Kansas State's going to look back at those first few drives of the game and really wonder what they squandered with those missed opportunities. One of them coming right from the 3-yard line off a turnover.
Yeah, that second column, K-State has not made West Virginia pay for any of those turnovers. There's a chance to do it right here in the final minute of this first half.
This is a situation where last week Skylar Thompson, 2-minute situation late in the game against Texas Tech, was able to drive his team down for a game-tying score.
There is Warmack, erased in the backfield by Mr. TFL, David Long, who defensive coordinator Tony Gibson says is one of the best linebackers, not just in this conference, but in the nation.
Flashes so much ability, and as we mentioned, missed the first portion of the season recovering from off-season knee surgery, but as he's gotten healthier and more comfortable, continues to just shoot gaps. He sees an opening and he is going to fire downhill immediately.
The Wildcats elect to let the clock run. They will not use a timeout. They'll throw here on 2nd and long. The screen is intercepted. Ezekiel Rose, the D lineman, and with 10 seconds, West Virginia gets it back. And the Mountaineers have a chance for points.
Trying to just play it safe with the screen to the fullback. And the D lineman not getting much of a pass rush, not getting home. Bides his time, gets his eyes up. And what are you taught to do if you're a D lineman? Get your hands up on a pass play. That time making a big play. Sticky gloves for 91.
Those D linemen will be the first to tell you that they could be skill position players, and he showed it on that one, snagging the ball out of the air. I tell you what, his teammates are never going to hear the end of it.
How do you manage these final 10 seconds? You're looking at about a 46, 47-yarder from here.
You've got one big shot at the end zone coming up right here, you'd have to imagine, especially with Greer's ability to buy time.
Only 10 seconds left, though. Greer. Clock ticking. 5 seconds. Greer under pressure. 3 seconds. Throws it up for the end zone. He's got a man open. It's White. He holds on. Touchdown, West Virginia.
Lather, rinse, repeat. Will Greer just continues to astound. We knew about the pocket presence, the ability to buy time with his feet, but seeing it in person, boy oh boy, this guy is worth the price of admission. Happy birthday indeed to his daughter Eloise, who celebrated a year on Friday.
4 touchdown passes for Greer, the second by Karan White. And it comes on the final play of the first half. Staley's extra point is good, and what a turn of events. Kansas State comes up with a turnover. 2 plays later, the Wildcats give it right back, and with 10 seconds, at this point, you're screaming on the sideline, throw it away. Let's get the field goal, and he throws it into the end zone for 6.
If you've got anyone else but Will Greer, you don't try to stifle that kind of creativity, and they're paying off. A couple of missed opportunities to drive before. They're more than willing to capitalize going into the half.
K-State unable to capitalize on 4 West Virginia turnovers in the first half. The Mountaineers, on the strength of their receivers and their quarterback, with an 8-point lead. After the break, it's the Dave and Buster's halftime report. It was a bizarre first 30 minutes on a overcast and rainy Saturday afternoon in Manhattan. West Virginia with a 28-20 lead despite 4 first-half turnovers. But Kansas State, Mike Golick Jr., just unable to really capitalize on the Mountaineer mistakes.
3 points off 4 turnovers in the first half. 17 plays run in West Virginia territory in the first half. 0 touchdowns to show for it. Just unacceptable by that offense, trying to work off turnovers. Defense and special teams had given you every chance in the world. And if you're West Virginia on the other side, you've turned the ball over 4 times and managed to still put up 28 points. And that is a testament to the ability to create in the pocket of Will Greer. Just an absolutely sensational first half performance from him.
Greer's touchdown pass at the end of the first half, giving the Mountaineers an 8-point cushion. And West Virginia will begin the third quarter at its own 25 as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. And again, it all goes back to those 4 turnovers. West Virginia made some mistakes, but Kansas State just not being able to capitalize. And the big one was at the very end of the first half.
Just an inexplicably bad play call. Clearly getting the ball back with no intention of putting it up in the air. Think you're going to run out the clock. Throw a screen pass to your fullback that ends up getting picked off and turned into points. And now West Virginia with a chance for the dagger to start the half.
Will Greer finds Gary Jennings. Tackled immediately after a gain of 5 by Jade Kirby. Greer 4 touchdown passes in the first half. He now leads the nation with 34 TD passes, and he's closing in on yet another 300-yard afternoon. Crawford off the high snap. Got a good block that time by Yadnik just to spring ahead for a first down.
And Anish, you know what's been interesting is the first down play selection by West Virginia, predominantly pass, and it's put them in great position, averaging 9.5 yards on first down.
That's Jennings for a pickup of 4, 2nd and 6. Yeah, we heard so much about this renewed emphasis on the run game and being tougher, and this is West Virginia from 4 or 5 years ago. Spread it out, get it to your playmakers in space.
They've mixed in some of that run game, but they're really taking what the defense gives them, going to just dictate it as they see it, and Greer, the decision maker, more than capable of operating.
Greer again. The improv, he's got White for a first down. And Karan White having a big game. That's 19 more yards. He's up to 146 receiving. He's got 7 catches This on the heels of a 4-catch, 167-yard game last week.
And just no one in the vicinity on defense.
Greer this time will tuck, and he is tackled for a loss.
One of the rare instances where Greer finds himself out of position, looking to get the ball to the outside, seeing it covered down, and instead of making a play that could potentially be catastrophic, we've seen those 2 interceptions bounce off receivers' hands in traffic. Lives to play another down, albeit a little bit behind the sticks.
Jennings out of bounds near the 35. Going those early passes, especially on first down, how much of that is determined by what the defense gives you?
Well, a lot of it, and especially in this spread run game, that's the foundation you build. That's why you put the wide receivers out, so you get clear box looks for your quarterback to make a decision.
Here it's 3rd down. K-State showing blitz. Kirby off the edge. Wildcats bring 6. Greer has Sills, who drops it. That would have been a 1st down and more. Instead, it's 4th down.
An uncharacteristic drop from Sills, and you see Greer up communicating at the line of the scrimmage. Offensive line gets on the same page. You see that 5 down sign there from the center, indicating that they're going to match up as those bodies are crowded around the line. And Kansas State, you saw, unwilling to just let Greer sit back there. They've been rushing 3 and 4, getting picked apart by his big playability. Going to do something to try and get him off that spot and get him uncomfortable.
Ball on the 36, and Dana Holgerson will elect to punt. Kinney. And this one will be a touchback.
Welcome back to Manhattan, Kansas. I had a chance to catch up with West Virginia head coach Dana Holgerson at halftime, and I asked him about the last play of the first half where Will Greer scrambled around with 10 seconds left to throw a touchdown, and he said, I was going to do some harm to him if that didn't work out. I told him to be smart with the football. But the fact that they're in a 4-turnover game in the first half and they're still leading is something that Holgerson said he's never been a part of before. And a big part of it is because of Greer's ability to scramble. Kansas State on that first drive started using a spy a little bit to help mitigate some of that scrambling that Will Greer did. We'll see if it's successful for him in the second half.
Yeah, that last play was your typical no, 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 yes when Will Greer found Karan White in the end zone. Dalvin Warmack begins the second half as the running back for K-State. A career-high 97 yards in the first half. Got more of a look last week. 7 carries a week ago, 9 today. Had just 113 rush yards on the season entering the game. Skylar Thompson on the run and finds his receiver Zuber for a first down. Now the second half is when we've seen Skylar Thompson the last couple of weeks.
Maybe he just needed that adrenaline spike of being down at the half. There, the quarterback option RPO, following behind his lead blockers, waiting, and finally making that decision at the last second to get the ball to Zuber and pick up a much-needed first down.
Thompson gets a block from Dimmel. He's got room to run. The fullback, Winston Dimmel, who's got a couple of touchdown runs, and that time his block freed Thompson, Roddy, for a huge gain.
You see him in the backfield. That should be an easy indication for you right there. Lined up as the halfback. Almost always a quarterback run in this option. Again, that fullback, a great indicator of what they're looking for. Appears to be lined up in that spot again. Let's see if this is a play action off of it.
And guys, we did not see a lot of that in the first half. You saw in the play before it, it was the quarterback run option, run pass option. That time, straight quarterback run, 2 big plays for this Kansas State offense.
Just beating the play clock. Thompson will again run. And sneaks across the 45. Only got a yard. 2nd and 9.
See this with a lot of young quarterbacks where that first read's not there and you feel any sort of pressure. It's pull the ball down and run, and you get positive yards out of that. First down, not necessarily an area that's been kind to Kansas State. We mentioned West Virginia, 9.5-yard average on their first down plays. Kansas State just 6.5, and most of the time it feels comparatively like less.
Womack bottled up after another short gain, so 3rd and long, and this is where we've seen Dana Holgorsen give Skylar Thompson just a vast wardrobe of looks.
And let's see if Kansas State tries to help them out again. They did this last time when they were a bit backed up. Throw some motion in there. See if you can get indication of man or zone on defense, which usually can be a tell of if this quarterback's going to get pressure, because the linebackers have done a decent job of disguising.
Sometimes they've brought pressure. Sometimes this Tony Gibson defense has rushed 3. And a flag on the play before this 3rd and 7.
False start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That is Abdul Beecham, the left guard. We've seen this movie before from Kansas State. The penalty on 3rd down to back up.
Drive killers. When you're sitting in film the following Sunday or Monday and you turn this on, this is the real, the coaches call drive killers. Plays that if this isn't converted, you point back to and look at and say, these are the hidden yardage areas we gave the game away in.
K-State needs the 35. Mountaineers rush 3. Thompson, there's a flag on the play. Cut down by David Long at the 45, 4th and 10, but a penalty marker way back at the 46.
In the area of holding.
Holding. Offense, number 79. Penalties decline. Result of the play, 4th down.
That time it's the center, Adam Holtorf. So the penalty decline, 4th down.
Just a 3-man rush. Again, long yardage, content to play coverage there. Just a little much.
Low snap, Walsh gets it off. Over the head of the 2 return men, and Kansas State special teams has long been a forte of Bill Snyder coaching teams. The Mountaineers will be pinned inside their 5. This is the week we honor all of America's heroes who have served and are currently serving in our nation's armed forces. And today we observe Veterans Day. It's the annual Fort Riley Day game here at Kansas State. And the home team with an 8-point deficit, West Virginia with the ball inside its own 5. Greer incomplete for White, 2nd down.
This is the area of the field where you've got to ask Will Greer to not be Will Greer. Backed up in your own end zone and dancing around in the pocket. Buying time is great when you're in the open field, but chance for holding in the end zone and a safety here is the last thing West Virginia needs in a close game.
Quick release, and Jennings tiptoes out of bounds. 3rd down coming up, and this is a big play here for this Kansas State defense. If you can get a stop and get off the field, now you tilt field position in the 2nd half.
And that's where West Virginia struggled all night, really, getting backed up by Kansas State D and special teams. A chance to flip that again.
Greer threads it into White at the 20 for a 1st down. That is the 8th catch for Karan White. He's got 170 yards, a new career high, besting the 167 from a week ago.
And nothing fancy about that. That's just a well-placed ball and a hard-fought catch. Shelley right there on the coverage, getting out of the shadow of their own end zone. Now can operate normally in this offense. And Elijah Wellman making an appearance in the game. Let's see where the fullback ends up.
There's the pressure. in the flat. And Jennings scampers out of bounds, a gain of 8. 10 catches and even 100 yards receiving for Gary Jennings. Jennings, Stills, and White. Sills and White along with Jennings all on pace for 1,000 yards receiving this season. Third down coming up is Kirby. Bottles up Crawford. On 3rd and 2. Edge pressure. Flags down. Greer going long. And it's broken up into double coverage.
Holding. Offense. Number 55. Penalties decline. 4th down.
It's the left tackle, Yadni Kajust. Junior out of Hollywood, Florida, and the punt team led by Billy Kinney on for West Virginia. And this is a chance now for Kansas State. They've got Pringle and Reed, 2 outstanding return men. Pringle at the 45, Reed at the 30. And here is the dangerous DJ Reed. He gets the edge. Accelerates across the 40, cuts it back inside the 30. DJ Reed giving the Wildcats prime starting field position.
This is a really great job on the back end of this play. A low ball, so you know he's going to have a chance for some yards after the punt. Watch 21 here working down in that trail technique. Does a great job of keeping his hands off the defender and not giving into that urge for the block in the back. Just staying in position and being in the way, which is just as valuable when you've got a returner as capable as Reed.
A 44-yard return. Warmack got away from Long, but not away from Schuler. It's a loss on the play, 2nd down, and that's the 2nd time Schuler has made a play in the backfield.
And you see Long again just firing through the gap. He gets any sort of opening, and what you do is you make that running back move laterally and allow the rest of this defense. And when you're built like this 3-3 defense, this stack, your linebackers and defensive backs and that spur position are asked to make those plays.
And we've got contact up front. Lamont McDougal and Holtorf the center.
Offside. Defense. Number 49. Contact. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Just unacceptable here from McDougal. I understand you're a freshman, but his D-line coach will tell you, you're right over the ball. That's where the offensive linemen like to remind everyone that we are the much more cerebral side of the ball. I'd be remiss if I didn't get that PSA in.
That's I think you're contractually obliged by the offensive lineman union. Thompson gets a block from Warmack, cuts it back. And dives down inside the 20, and he's upset with himself. He knew he had more.
You see the frustration. This is really student body left. You pull the backside guard, you get the fullback and the running back blocking out in front of you, and he sees the cutback lane and just can't quite stay up the surface. A little bit slick tonight. Gets them in 3rd and manageable still.
Foggy, overcast, we've had rain. It's 3rd and 3.
And again, 38 in the backfield in that 2-3-point stance. Almost assuredly a quarterback run.
Al-Rashid Benton looked like he crossed the line. They blow the play dead. So no free play for Kansas State. Play was blown dead.
Offside. defense, contact, 5-yard penalty, yardage results in a first down.
2 offsides by the D-line on this drive. Just unacceptable. You talk about drive killers. This is an area where Kansas State has struggled for a lot of the day. Starting off with good field position deep in West Virginia territory. In the first half, unable to capitalize other than the field goal. In this second half, when you give them chances like that.
Game clock to 5:39, 5:39.
Incredibly demoralizing for a defense.
1 second added back to the game clock. It's 1st and 10, Kansas State. Ball on the 14-yard line. This is their 5th drive in West Virginia territory.
Guys, Kansas State's starting to get that quarterback run going. This is where that run-pass option with the quarterback comes back into play. You can get your wide receivers matched up one-on-one.
Warmack following Dimmel and then dropped to the ground with some force by Al-Rashid Benton, the vocal leader and captain on that West Virginia defense.
Heard Tony Gibson, just the way he talks about Gibson, or excuse me, talks about Benton. Said over and over again on the call with us how much he's going to miss this player. A cerebral guy, a 31 Wonderlic kind of player, someone who knows the assignments of everyone on defense. They said they give out those wristbands at the beginning of the week that they use to get the calls in game. And by the end of the week, he's basically got it memorized. He is a coach's dream and a guy they will surely miss in the middle of this unit.
Had 9 tackles and a pick last week. Thompson will throw. He's got Zuber. And Zuber is met by Kaiser White, along with Kenny Robinson, the freshman, 3rd and long.
Elijah Battle doing a great job against Dalton Schoen, though, just defeating the block on the outside and, again, making that receiver work east and west, allowing the rest of the defense to come and rally. That's where this West Virginia defense has success. They've got to disrupt you. Dana Holgorsen called it chopping down the offense. They're going to move around, they're going to slice under blocks, and they're going to give the rest of the crew time to get there.
Play clock winding down. We get a timeout from the Kansas State sideline. 3:54
takes
to
its
go
first time out of the half.
In this 3rd quarter. Big 3rd down coming for Bill. I'm sure those two just will be enthralled, and maybe they'll still be wrapped as a burrito. Skylar Thompson on 3rd and 11. Incomplete, 4th down. And Kansas State will call on McCrane. He's got 2 field goals, and today Matthew McCrane became Kansas State's all-time leader in field goals made, surpassing the great Martin Gramatica.
Great protection right there. Zuber just unable to get off the jam on the line of scrimmage. No one in sight on the ball by the young quarterback. Gonna have to settle for 3.
McCrane has made 34 straight from inside 42. This from 32. No good.
We jinxed him. What have we done?
Our statistician, Paul Newman, handed me the note.
Don't blame this on Paul.
It's Paul's fault.
Or if it's a blowout either way, a complete miser. There's no middle ground.
Also a very sneaky way to get out of driving duties. After the missed field goal by McCrane, West Virginia from the 20. Here's the blitz. And Sims. Nice job along the sideline. Tackled eventually by Adams, but a gain of 23 for the sophomore from Sandy Spring, Maryland.
And West Virginia going to get up and go now. They smell a chance to really drive the dagger home in a way they missed out on coming out of the half.
On the ground. Crawford. Patient running, and Crawford into Kansas State territory. Justin Crawford had opened the season with 5 straight 100-yard games. Went over 100 yards last week against Iowa State, and a win against a top 15 team at the time. Crawford again, he's at 84 yards. Now up to 86 after a gain of 2.
And Anish, all I can think about for this Kansas State defense right now, really coupled with their special teams unit, is what more are you looking for us? That last drive stalls again off the long punt return. No points in another appearance in West Virginia territory for Kansas State. It's just no way to live, and eventually on a drive like this could cost you the game.
Been a bizarre game in that regard. Wildcats crowd the box. They got 8 in the box. They'll bring the heat. Greer hit. Incomplete. 3rd down. Chris. Wow. If Auburn can win the Iron Bowl, they've got a case. As a 2-loss team, obviously have to win the SEC title game as well. Pressure again. Greer hit. Sims juggles, can't hold on, and it's 4th down. Kansas State defensively dialing up the blitzes on the last 2 plays.
Not really sure about the decision by the right tackle, Colton McKivitz here. You see him pointing out to that backer, going out, the running back picking up Goolsby. But Jake Kirby allowed to just come right in the inside. Usually want to take away those defenders on the inside, slide and cover that up. The quarterback that time pressuring his face up the middle. I don't care how good you are.
Kinney's punt results in a touchback. The point that you brought up, Mike, just moments ago, Kansas State has forced 4 turnovers. I think their special teams has been outstanding despite the McCrane missed field goal. They've gotten mileage from the return game. Their coverage unit has pinned West Virginia deep a couple of times. What more are you looking for? They just have not capitalized offensively when given short fields, when given the ball after these turnovers.
No, but to the same token, plays like what we just saw there from West Virginia, that inability to get a punt in that area of the field down close to the goal line, that touchback, they're continuing to lose that field position battle in teams.
Redshirt freshman Skylar Thompson, and his first career start. Down the seam, tipped, and caught by Dimmel. What an afternoon for the Wildcat fullback.
Hey, sometimes it's just better to be lucky than good. And this time, you get an absolute gift off the tip ball. We've seen them try and get their sneaky athlete out in the open field. 3 West Virginia defensive players in the area of that football. And only one man can come up with it.
Tonkery tipped it for West Virginia, the Sam linebacker. A reception for Dimmel. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns and has had a number of key blocks. This is the former walk-on Justin Silman, and able to will his way for 9 and a first down.
You mentioned the former walk-on there. That's really the culture around this Kansas State program. Dalton Schoen, former walk-on. Starting linebacker Trent Tanking, former walk-on, and when we talked to him, he mentioned that was part of the appeal. He came here, the hosts on his visit, former walk-ons who had earned scholarships the way he would end up. Will Geary as well. That's the foundation built. Coach Snyder has built this program on.
Silman that time stopped at the line of scrimmage. They'll say he lost a yard. Yeah, part of that is in Kansas State, you know, they know they're not going to go get 5-star, 4-star guys, but they have the ability to get in-state walk-ons, and they're not treated any differently than scholarship players like you might see at other programs.
No, and Tanking mentioned it yesterday. There were a few players on the team that didn't even know he was a walk-on until he was gifted that scholarship at the end of his freshman year. And that's a testament to this program, as well as the players in that locker room who just ask you to come and show up to work every day.
Thompson under center. Play action out of the offset eye. Near sideline, and that's caught by Schoen, and he's got enough for a first down.
Talked earlier in the game, guys, about this passing game and how many elements of it have semblances of the pro passing game, and that's one of them. You had 2 receivers on each side, a 2-man route, and all they do is run, stem to the post, and then run a comeback, and great anticipation by Thompson throwing the ball. Skylar Thompson has done a great job in those situations where he's had protection.
Kansas State does not have to call a play with time running down, and they will not.
That's the end of the third
A lot
quarter.
of traction. We saw both teams drive. We saw both teams threaten. Nobody scored, however, in that third quarter. We go to the fourth. It's a one-possession game in Manhattan. You're watching Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. It's been a dreary, overcast, rainy Saturday afternoon. Something out of the Hound of the Baskervilles here in the Little Apple. We go to the fourth quarter. West Virginia leading Kansas State 28-20. Our Wildcats on the move. 1st and 10, ball on the Mountaineer 25-yard line.
See if they get back to that ground game here.
This is the quarterback run game, and David Long cancels it in the backfield.
And you really wonder if they're going to have to find some play action look off of that, because you see that backfield look enough times, and what did we say earlier? Eventually they're going to start to key, and Long doesn't need much of an invitation to go darting into that backfield for the big hit.
You see the graphic. The last two meetings between these schools decided by a point. In both instances, the winning team trailed at halftime and going into the fourth quarter. On 2nd and long, Thompson will run. And he gets a nice chunk of it back. It sets up a 3rd and about 8.
Coach Holderson 42-5 when leading after the third quarter.
On 3rd down, the pressure. Schoen is open, bumped out of bounds. He's got a 1st down. There's a flag at the end of the play. And this might be coming back, and it could be against Kansas State.
You saw that switch route, a lot of contact at the top of that route.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 7. 15-yard penalty from previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
And you see it right here. Right in the inside is shown. Zuber on the outside. Trying to get that pick play right there, but just too obvious with it.
And that's the 2nd time Kansas State has been called for that same penalty today.
It's just poor execution. Everyone understands what the object of that route is, but the sell by the wide receiver setting the pick is so important, and that time running straight into the defender and putting them in yet another drive-killing 3rd and long situation.
And out the 38, you're almost out of field goal range. McCrane's got a big leg, but boy, down the middle. And that is hauled in by Pringle. And it sets up 4th down, a much more manageable field goal attempt. Pringle is down at the end of the play. The kicking team did run out, so it appeared K-State with plenty of time to go, looking for 3. About a 40-yarder from here, but Pringle is down.
Yep, you'll see him take the big hit at the end of the play, and this is one of their big play guys. Going up and in, sitting down in the middle of that zone, and then coming down. I think leg getting a little bit twisted up on underneath the hit there by Kenny Robinson.
Kenny Robinson, freshman safety for West Virginia, had a pick 6 against Oklahoma State. Made a key play at the end of last week's game against Iowa State.
And to your point, Anish, this is the absolute right decision as the kicking team goes up onto the field. Your special teams and defense have been selling out for you all day on the Kansas State side. Keep putting the game in their hands. They have earned that trust at this point.
No question.
Great call by Coach Snyder.
A 39-yarder for McCrane, who's 2 for 3. One of the best kickers in the country from 39, able to hit, and it's 28-23 with 12:44 to go in the fourth. A lot of football left to play at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. And we thank Captain Hawkins. 28-23. But if you look at this game through the prism of Kansas State, you see missed opportunity.
If Kansas State loses this game, you'll know exactly why. 5 drives they've started in West Virginia territory, and on those drives, 32 total yards and 2 field goals. You couple that with 9 plays met behind the line of scrimmage for that Kansas State offense, and you've got a recipe for a loss.
Not to mention just 3 points off 4 West Virginia turnovers. Marcus Sims, the Big 12 leader in all-purpose yards, will be marked down at the 28-yard line. College football playoff rankings brought to you by Goodyear. The #1 team in the country, Georgia, right now down 23 at Auburn. Alabama plays tonight in Starkville. Notre Dame and Miami, that's going to have a big impact. Oklahoma, TCU, that's going to have a big impact. We might be playing a little Jenga come Tuesday.
Clemson only up 3 on Florida State right now. The much embattled Florida State team this season who lost their quarterback week 1, trying to make a difference.
Justin Crawford gets a couple, 2nd and 8. Meanwhile, for these 2 teams, West Virginia and Kansas State still mathematically have a chance at playing in the Big 12 championship. But for the Wildcats, they're trying to get bowl eligible. They need a win in one of their final 3 games, and they've got West Virginia, Oklahoma State, and Iowa State. The schedule is not easy. Greer's got Jennings, 3rd down coming up after a gain of 3.
You mentioned bowl eligibility on the line. How about Coach Snyder? 18 bowl appearances during his tenure at Kansas State. The rest of the Kansas State coaches combined, 2.
The history of this program has been written by that man. It's been well documented. A total reconstruction. Here's the blitz. Greer looking for Sills, incomplete. And this Kansas State defense answers the call.
And Kansas State's made a decision in the second half. They are tired of rushing 4 and letting Will Greer dance around back in that pocket. They have come every chance they've got with pressure at the line of scrimmage, doing their best to make this offensive line of running backs pick and take a side and ultimately get them off a spot.
And this is a big moment in the game. Kinney punts it away. Reed had a 44-yard return last time from his own 20. Hits the accelerator. Reed on his 21st birthday has the edge and taken down near midfield. So dynamic in the return game. And once again, the Wildcats will operate with a short field.
You heard the hit on the back end of that. Reed and this defense and special teams going to continue to give them opportunities. Let's see if Kansas State can capitalize.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by eBay. Fill your cart with color. And Stouffer's Fit Kitchen Bowls. This is Fit.
Hemingway said the great thing is to last and to get your work done. Bill Snyder has lasted a long time, and his body of work speaks in the imperative. 121 wins in the Big 8, Big 12. Only second to Tom Osborne. 9 top 15 finishes. He turned around the most downtrodden program in all of college football. He's got streets named after him. He's got a statue. He's got a stadium that bears his name. He is a living icon and a treasure. His team is down 5. Skylar Thompson will run. toward the sideline, and not much room. The angle cut off by West Virginia, second down.
You mentioned it. You're sitting around meetings with Coach Snyder, and you really feel like you're in a room with a piece of football history. A Hall of Famer while still an active coach, all of these different accolades, and yet he's still a guy that's as focused on the day-to-day process as any coach in college football.
After a decade at Iowa as the offensive coordinator under Hayden Fry, came to Kansas State. This is his second stint, took a 3-year break. And it is incredible what he's been able to do. A few years ago with Colin Klein, this program was within a whisker of playing for the national championship. Dangerous throw to the sideline. Schoen makes the catch. It's third down. And by the way, if that Colin Klein team had reached the championship game, Mike Golick Jr. and Notre Dame could have been perhaps the opponent.
That's only a scenario I've played out in my head maybe every day since January 7th of 2013, but
yeah, Mike, you feel a little bit better about that matchup than the one that you guys got against Bama, huh?
just a touch, Roddy. You know, one of those things, confident going into it, looking back on it. They say you want to play the best to get there. I'm not so sure I would have not opted for a route outside of Tuscaloosa.
Third down now, and a timeout called by Skylar Thompson. Kansas State has one left.
Kansas State takes its second time out of the half.
Critical 3rd and 4 for the Wildcats once again in West Virginia territory, trying to find a way to punctuate this drive with a touchdown. The Hall of Famer looks on with 9:36. Kansas State 1 out of 12 on third down today, facing a 3rd and 4, and one of their reliable receiving targets, Dalton Schoen, just went into the locker room. Quarterback run. Thompson, first down and more. Still on his feet near sideline. Out of bounds at the 25. The redshirt freshman delivers.
Anish, when you're 1 of 12 on third down, you know what an easy way to create a conversion is? To finally not get penalized on a big third down in this game. Third down penalties have been backbreaking for this Kansas State offense. 3rd and manageable, and finally take advantage of West Virginia's drop 8 by letting your quarterback run with easy daylight there for a first down, getting back near that red area.
Last week, Thompson led K-State on 3 straight scoring drives en route to a comeback win against Texas Tech. This is his first career start. Showing some confidence as he finds Pringle. Here's Chris Cotter.
Gonna try and make 5.
Wildcats have a very manageable schedule. Northwestern, that is. Dalvin Womack. And another third down now coming up for K-State.
But it's 3rd and manageable again, Anish. 3rd and 4-ish right here on third down, and better success on first down. Kansas State desperately needed that throughout the course of this game.
You're down 5, still plenty of time left. Do you view this as 4-down territory?
Not yet. Still 8 minutes left in this game. Again, your defense has been able to win for you consistently, applying a ton of pressure to Will Greer on the other side. Let's see if West Virginia brings some on this third down after dropping 8 last time.
Thompson beats the play clock again. Intercepted! Kenny Robinson, the true freshman. Tackled by the quarterback near the 45 of Kansas State. What a game-changing play by Robinson.
Kenny Robinson. They've had to reshuffle bodies in the back end of this defense a lot this week. Guys moving and playing everywhere. And Kenny Robinson, their young playmaker on the season, eyes that the entire way, plants his foot in the ground, goes and gets that ball. And another crushing red zone appearance for Kansas State.
It's another empty possession for K-State in West Virginia territory. And that time, like you said, you thought that wasn't 4-down territory. You're walking away at the bare minimum with a field goal.
Young quarterback staring down a receiver. That's the kind of thing that can happen.
Against a 4-man rush, Greer to throw. Chased by Gary. Tackled from behind by Gary after a short gain. What's the adjustment West Virginia now needs to make offensively against K-State, because the Mountaineers haven't scored in the second half?
They need to also take a page out of that K-State playbook, mix in some first down runs. It's been a pass-heavy group, and now you're looking to burn some of this clock. It's not quite 4-minute offense yet, but at the very least, get some traction in that ground game against a 5-man box look like the one they've got right now and have gotten consistently all night.
On the ground, here's Crawford. He's got some room. He'll set up the 3rd down. Crawford north of 90 yards rushing. 5 to go.
You know, I think you have to give this Kansas State coaching staff a lot of credit on the defensive side. Early, they got hit playing man-to-man on some big plays long. So their adjustment to that was to drop 8 and play coverage. Then Will Greer started freelancing and started creating in the backfield. So their adjustment on 3rd down so far in the second half has been to blitz Will Greer, make him get the ball out of his hands quick. We'll see if that happens here.
Here's the blitz. Jennings cannot hold on. And the Mountaineers will have to punt it away.
Roddy pointed it out, pressure bursting pipes in this second half. And you see out on that top side, trips, but a lot closer than we're used to. So able to disguise this blitz a little more. 4 bodies out there. Simple number game tells you someone might be coming on that one. They fire off the top side of that, force a high ball from Greer.
Another chance for this dynamic Kansas State return game. Nearly a block punt. Reed lets this one bounce, now picks it up on a hop. And he is devoured at the 3-yard line. He's had a couple of exciting plays in the return game. Not a wise decision there, and a long way to go for K-State. Anish Shroff, Mike Golick Jr., Roddy Jones. We look at our Pacific Life game summary. 4 turnovers by West Virginia, 2 by Kansas State. Big games by Karan White. Skylar Thompson, first career start for the redshirt freshman. And his team down 5 with 6:05 to go in the 4th. And the Wildcats backed up, ball on their own 3. Justin Silman runs into a phalanx of White, no gain. And it's 2nd down. And we've seen Kansas State have a couple of costly penalties. And down here, you got to be careful.
And this is the first time they've really been backed up. West Virginia and special teams finally able to pin them back. This is David Long territory. Guy who makes a living shooting gaps and getting plays behind the line of scrimmage. We mentioned Kansas State stopped behind the line of scrimmage 9 times through the course of this game. Be a hell of a spot for Long to show up again here.
11 and White has 11 tackles, 2 in the backfield. Play action. Thompson looking to get away, chased by Rose, and he'll lose a yard. It sets up 3rd and long, and why doesn't he throw that away?
Just a young kid, not really sure. Again, so used to seeing one look at a route downfield and then tuck it and run. This time, we talk about Will Greer on the other side and his tendency to sometimes try to extend plays to a fault. That time, Thompson, so young, eventually, when he sees that on tape, part of the maturation process. Their quarterback of the future has to start eliminating some of those mistakes in the now.
On 3rd down, Thompson to throw. Over the middle, and it is caught. Isaiah Zuber for a huge 1st down.
Big moment for Zuba on 1st down here, too. Guy who's been a part of a couple of those pass interference penalties. And the acrobatic catch, that had a couple of opportunities where it looked pretty close to the ground.
Plays under further review.
They're going to take a look at it again.
Big review here. Difference is either a first down or a punt from your own end zone. As Zuber somehow able to hang on, and remember, Kansas State down one of its top receiving targets. Dalton Schoen went into the locker room. We have not seen him on the K-State sideline. They don't really have a ton of receiving depth to begin with.
No, and an area on third down, with you've got a young quarterback.
Does that ball hit the ground? I'm not sure the ball ever hits the ground. Right here.
Right. Oh, there it goes.
That's going to be overturned. Yeah.
Wow, what a crushing blow for this team.
Great job by our cameraman. Now, he sold it now. He sold it.
And 2 times around.
Yeah.
Rolling there.
Right there. Now, the ball's allowed to hit the ground. I want to clear that up. You can't use the ground essentially as a third hand to aid in the reception.
After further review, the ball hit the ground before the player had firm possession. It's an incomplete pass. 4th down and 12 at the 1-yard line.
I tell you what, this officiating crew today, they've done a terrific job. A couple of big replay calls. They got that one right. And now Kansas State will punt from its own end zone. Nick Walsh will come on with 4:42, and the Wildcats only have 1 timeout.
We talked about it before. West Virginia need to find that run game. Right now, 4 minutes left and up 5. And what looks like will be great field position.
And if you're Kansas State, you're looking to hold West Virginia to a field goal at the worst. A very short kick. Sims takes it inside the 40. Mountaineers can almost put this game away with a touchdown. Kansas State.
And myself, Roddy Jones, and Taylor Swift, all but wee babies at 1 year old. Taylor celebrating the release of her album. What a treat it was.
It was Mike Golick's nighttime job yesterday to review that album. Crawford to the 35. Chris Cotter's a big Taylor Swift fan.
Drive.
You mean Look What You Made Me Do is not piping through Cotter's headphones when he's doing his tricep presses?
Cotter strikes me as more of a New Year's Day kind of guy, a soft end to an album full of defiance.
2nd down, West Virginia. Greer hands it off to Crawford. And he pushes forward, and now 3rd down from the 33. Remember, West Virginia starting kicker Mike Molina missing his 3rd straight game. He's got a bit of a hip quad injury. So they've got Evan Staley, and Dana Holgerson said Staley was their long kicker anyway. He trusts him with long kicks. But in this situation, you're looking at about a 50-yarder. If you don't get yards here, could this be 4-down territory?
Could be, as you try and continue to eat up clock. 3:22 and ticking away.
Crawford. And it's going to set up a 4th and 2. And what do you do if you're Dana Holgerson?
I'm not even hesitating. Line them up and let it go. Even get a little tempo going here. We've seen them take advantage of that time and time again tonight. West Virginia 73.3% on 4th down on the season. That's best for 8th in the country right now. And Elijah Wellman, the fullback, hasn't been seen a lot in this game, but this drive, as they look to eat that clock, he's been factored in prominently. This has looked more like the K-State run game.
They may take this down and call a timeout. Officially a 4th and 3. And a timeout by Dana Holgerson, their first of this 2nd half.
West Virginia takes his first time out of the half. 60-second timeout. 60.
The last 2 matchups in this series have been tight ones. In the 4th quarter last year, or in 2015, Morgan Burns, one of 4 kick return touchdowns in that 2015 campaign, a 97-yard return. That would be the difference in a 1-point Kansas State win. Last year, West Virginia trailed by 13 entering the 4th. Skylar Howard with a touchdown pass. Matthew McCrane, a 43-yard field goal attempt, no good. And West Virginia completes the comeback, 17-16. Dana Holgerson told us it's been a week since he last had a sip of an energy drink. You think he's thirsting for a Red Bull or a Monster right about now?
Saw him fired up down in the sideline. That looks like a caffeine deficiency if I've ever seen one. Imploring that offensive line, saying, hey, get us that extra couple of yards right here and let's put this away. Kansas State with one timeout left.
Offense out on the field. What's the call?
If I'm looking for the call right here, they take their fullback out of the game. We see a five-man line. Unfortunately, Will Greer may sling this one to the outside. We could see the RPO play a role in this.
Let's see if K-State brings pressure. Greer looking for the first down. He finds White. It is, or rather Jennings, and it is a first down.
And you saw it right there. Kansas State loads up the front in short yardage. They love to go with that bare front, cover the center and both guards on that defense. And with only one back in the backfield, no tight ends, you're almost forced to play the numbers game and go outside. And what a strong catch by Jennings to secure the first down. And now that clock ticks near the 2-minute mark. And West Virginia is going to take their sweet time.
And Kansas State only has one timeout. 12 catches for Jennings, one off a career high. Crawford up the middle, charges across the 20. He's got a first down and more. And Crawford over 100 yards rushing for the 7th time this season.
Great job by the fullback cutting off the backside. You saw pressure coming off that left edge. And Elijah Wellman able to cut off a portion of that defense, create a seam, and then move that pile, boys. Justin Crawford and that offensive line. Dana Holgerson, caffeine deprived as he has, asked for physicality from this group up front, and he's getting into the moment. This is what you relish as an offensive lineman.
113 yards for Crawford, and now Kennedy McCoy comes in to spell Crawford. This is Greer. He'll throw to Jennings. And Jennings tackled inside the 5 as we check in again with Chris.
Well, Anish, goalie, Roddy, you guys are about a minute and a half from wrapping things up there. They're just getting started in Evanston, Purdue and Northwestern. That game will start on ESPN News. It's on ESPN News right now. We'll bring it over here to ESPN 2 once you guys are finished up.
Jennings went out of bounds, so the clock stopped with 1:16. It's 2nd and 1 inside the 5. McCoy, he's got a first down. It's a 1st and goal. And now West Virginia on the verge of leaving Manhattan with a hard-fought road win despite 4 turnovers, despite not having scored yet in the 2nd half.
Dana Holgerson went to the phone and called in the closer. Kennedy McCoy came in that 4th quarter and closed things out against Iowa State. And now in that backfield as they look to hammer one more into the end zone and close the door on a Kansas State team that Anish is going to have only themselves to blame after this game.
Hang on, not quite a first down just yet. They will measure for the official spot. And it is enough for a first down. So 1st and goal from the 2. Kansas State only has a timeout. And this situation, do you maybe just is your best bet letting the team score and then hoping for a big return and an onside kick, or what do you do?
You're no stranger to special teams plays. At this point, you got to sell out, and it looks like West Virginia not even going to give them the chance. Too tight eye, the victory kneel.
Ruling on the field was a first down. The previous plays under further review.
So they will look at that spot upstairs. Now you got 1:02 left. 1st and goal. You're right. You don't really need to run an offensive play. You can just take kneel downs. Kansas State only has the 1 timeout.
Take it right out of their hands as they measure for the first down. Really the only thing left Kansas State has to look forward to, as ultimately when they look back on this game, it's going to be a tale of their own mistakes as we see the run here by McCoy. Charging forward, waiting to see where forward progress is, spins and appears to be right on that first down line.
These spot plays, so often if it's not decisive, very hard to overturn.
Exactly, and no sort of clear ruling right here. Great extra effort by McCoy, who he said is often brought in to spell Crawford late in these games, although they haven't hammered it on the ground. And as they sit in the red zone on the other side, it seems only appropriate to mention for Kansas State 5 trips to the red zone tonight, 1 touchdown, and also a missed field goal, that big interception in the second half, and you've got the recipe for losing football. We've seen reasons all over the field tonight why both of these teams have had seasons that have fallen well under the bar that they would set for themselves going in.
You know, and let's give West Virginia some credit, because for all the talk about being physical and tough, there's a mental component to that. And to turn the ball over 4 times in the first half on the road, to not score in the second half, and to still come out of here with a win, that shows you how far Dana Holgerson's team has come as well.
Absolutely. And to your point, toughness, that run game, we always assume that means volume carries. That means picking your spots. This West Virginia team with a quarterback like Will Greer, 3 receivers near 1,000 yards on the season, they're never going to ground and pound you into submission. But you pick your spots like this 4-minute drill that they've been on right now with a chance to end the game. That is the toughness that you relish. Situational football from Dana Holgerson's crew. He should be absolutely thrilled with the way this unit has finished a game it hasn't executed all that well in from start to end.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Yeah, hard to find, again, evidence to overturn that kind of play most of the time. And this West Virginia defense has only given up 3 points. And I think you've got to give them a lot of credit. They've had to defend a short field for what seems like the majority of this game.
And really towards the end right there, West Virginia special teams, that punt team finally
Please set
coming
the game
through.
clock to 109. 109. And wind it on my signal.
Lining up in victory on 1st and goal after the review. Greer takes the knee. Kansas State will not call a timeout. Bill Snyder's team will not become bowl eligible this week. They have 2 more opportunities. Schedule, though, gives you no favors in Stillwater and then home against a resurgent Iowa State team, one of the surprise teams in college football. Meanwhile, West Virginia, they're looking at 7-3. They go home against Texas. That's a winnable game. And if everything breaks right, that season finale against Oklahoma, they need some help. They need some pieces to move in their favor. But that final game against Oklahoma could come down for a spot in the Big 12 championship.
Has an absolute chance to be a bracket buster, if nothing else in that situation. But with the win today, keeping their season hopes alive in the only way that they can.
Dana Holgerson, I think he deserves an energy drink after this one. Coming into this place, an awfully tough place to win. And the Mountaineers get a hard-fought 5-point win. They did all their scoring in the first half. The defense holding K-State to just 3 in the second half. Our final score, West Virginia 28, Kansas State 23. Next on ESPN2, we go to Evanston, Illinois, where we find the streaking Northwestern Wildcats. They're playing host to Purdue. Beth Mowens, Anthony Becht, and Rocky Boyman on the call. From